Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is a Q&A episode, so let's actually get started, shall we? Alright, so, first, few questions that I got from Nick here. So he here said, 2 questions about cloning Ice Age mammals. Like, would the woolly rhino, would it be a pure blood clone, or would it be a hybrid like the woolly mammoth project? Yeah, it will more likely be. And I think, if I remember correctly, the woolly rhinos were closely related, I believe, to the Asian rhino. One of the Asian rhinos. I just can't totally remember which one it is. But yeah, it would actually have to be a hybrid. It would have to be a hybrid. Because it would take many generations for it to fully become a full-on woolly rhino. And so it would take a while for it to be able to get there. And your second question, is it possible to clone Ice Age cave lions, and do you think they will survive in our modern day world like the Pleistocene Park in northeastern Siberia? If you have heard of it, or are you looking it up? Well, I've already heard about that Pleistocene Park thing, so I already know about that. But would they be able to clone cave lions? Yeah, absolutely, because we find cave lion cubs frozen in the permafrost there in Siberia. So I think it's possible that they could do that as well. Yeah, so those are actually pretty good questions. Those are good questions right there. And then you got this one right here. I was wondering if you've heard about this T-Rex specimen called E.D. Cope, because I saw 2 videos about it on YouTube. If you were interested, and from what I have seen in them is that it might be possibly bigger than Scotty the T-Rex, and do you think it is possible? Yeah, I've heard of that specimen, E.D. Cope. It's in the Black Hills Institute of Geological Research, so they have that specimen, but it's a partial specimen, so it's not fully complete. It's not really complete at all. It's like, I think it's got like I think it has like a femur, and I think part of the pelvis, if I remember correctly. Maybe a tail vertebrae. But yeah, there is not much to go about E.D. Cope. And so, is it possible that it could actually be larger than Scotty? I think it is possible, but we need to find, I think they need to find more of that specimen. They'll probably go look into where the specimen has been found, where the specimen they have collected, where the location of that specimen has been found, and see if there is any more bits of the skeleton left. Because sometimes when like if it's been sitting out for a long time in the elements, sometimes those bones can erode away pretty fast. And also maybe there's a possibility that maybe people have probably tried to poach it, out of the ground, which is not a very good thing. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it could actually get bigger than Scotty. That is up for debate. It is definitely up for debate. Okay, and your final one, was wondering about the top speed of other T-Rex specimens like Sue, Scotty, Stan, and the Wankelrex. And could these T-Rexes possibly run at 12 or 20 miles per hour, or is it still debatable? And how flexible are their tails? Are they, and could it help run without breaking their bones? Okay, so the first part of that question, like, what would be the top speeds of, let's say, Sue, Scotty, Stan, and the Wankelrex? The Wankelrex would have to be the faster one, because it's slimmer, and also it's not as large as Stan, Scotty, and Sue. Stan would have to be the second fastest because of the fact that it's an early adult, so it's like an early adulthood stage when it died. So I probably would say, because I think the Wankelrex would more likely get to probably past 15 miles per hour, whereas Stan can get to 15 miles per hour. Sue and Scotty, on the other hand, those ones would have to be slower. They would have to be the slowest of the Rexes, and those could probably get to say 10 to 12 miles per hour. Because thing is, You don't have to be faster than your meal. So that's the most important thing. And also, when like because since that Scotty and Sue are so huge, they probably didn't need to run that much. They were probably more like ambush predators. So they had to rely on like being hidden and also wait for the prey to come to them. And that's probably how they actually did that. You know, like whether if it's like through like a family group, or otherwise like, you know, like it did hunt, like some of them did have to hunt on their own, and so they probably did had to rely on ambush. But also, it could also be on the time of the day too. That could also be a determining factor too, because like if they're hunting like at, like say at dawn or dusk or even a little bit at night, it's harder for the prey to see them, and so it could be that case. But yeah, good question still there, Nick. All right. Alex on YouTube is what sorts of animals could oppose T-Rex in its time? Well, it would mostly just be the herbivores. It would mostly be the herbivores. So it would have to be, like say, you know, like say Alamosaurus in the southern part of the United States, Triceratops, Torosaurus, and Kylosaurus, a little bit of a Montosaurus. And so those would probably be the ones that would be able to oppose T-Rex pretty good. But the thing is, the one thing that could like really be a problem for T-Rex is not just Triceratops or Torosaurus. It's another T-Rex. Because think about it, if you got a larger T-Rex that is like near the territory, and all of a sudden it starts encroaching into the territory, and all of a sudden it's just like, okay, battle royale, the battle has begun for that territory and possibly for mates and food. And you never know, that larger T-Rex could ultimately kill the smaller T-Rex and claim the territory and be able to have as much food as it wants. And so that's probably what probably did happen there. But yeah, good question. All right, Luke Zilla, you got some questions for me. All right, your first question: could terror birds like, for example, Kelenken, survive in modern-day Africa? I think if Kelenken was in modern-day Africa, I think it could survive for a short period of time. It probably would not be able to outcompete the mammalian predators that are out there. You know, like lions, leopards, cheetahs, and even hyenas. You know, because those would be the ones that would give Kelenken some problems. And also, I think it would have to rely on small prey in order for it to be able to, like, have a niche. And the mammalian predators were one of the reasons that terror birds went extinct, because they could not outcompete the mammalian predators, because the mammalian predators were high in number, and of course they had better brain power, better intelligence, and so that probably what did it. Then your second one here on this post that is a long time ago is who would win, Appalachiosaurus or Pentanal Jaguar? In my opinion, the Jaguar wins. Yeah, I agree with you. The Jaguar would definitely win. One, it's because it's smarter. It's probably the smarter cat. Even though Appalachiosaurus is not really a cat, it's a marsupial. And of course the jaw and the bite force, because the bite force would be very, very important in this one. Even though Appalachiosaurus might be stronger, but I would probably say that the Jaguar would definitely win this one. All he has to do is just get a really good bite, like in the back, in the base of the skull, or otherwise right onto the neck, and that's all it needs. That is all it needs, and the Jaguar would definitely win that one. And your other questions here, or your next one, who wins, Smilodon, Fatalis, or Barbarophilus? I would probably have to go with Smilodon, because one, it's the larger cat, and even though that Barbarophilus would be able to do some damage, but the thing is that Smilodon is just a much stronger cat. It's a much stronger cat, and so I'd probably have to go with that. Even though the bite force might not really be that great on Smilodon, Smilodon, all it has to do is just try to pin down Barbophilis, and that's it. Pin down Barbophilis and just bite the neck. That's all it has to do. That's all it has to do. Then your next one. Why is paleontology never taught in schools? This is a good question. And so why is paleontology not taught in schools? But the thing is, I really don't want to go political on this. Sometimes politics does play a factor into it. Because sometimes whatever state that you're living in, it can be a conflict with like like certain politicians' views. Because like there's some politicians that don't believe in evolution, and so they kind of go like, well, I don't want like anything associated with evolution being taught in schools. And sometimes that can be a factor. Otherwise, it could be just about money. It could be about money, you know, because sometimes sometimes like education curriculums, sometimes what they have to do is cut certain types of parts in terms of the science, in the science classes, in order for them to be able to, you know, teach some things. Because like in my state, Wisconsin, earth science is very rarely taught now in high school, and so it's really hard for like science teachers that have like taught earth science before. They have to limit what they can talk about, and so like in earth science right now in Wisconsin, they can talk about astronomy and meteorology. They don't talk about geology that much, and so that kind of does bum me out, because I took an earth science class in high school. I took a full year of that, and like I had a good time in that class. Don't get me wrong, I had a good time in that class. But yeah, I think it's just mostly about like politics and also like money. That's mostly the reasons why. But I hope it does come back, because I really want like fossils to be like a really good thing to talk about for science classes, because like the first thing that kids learn in terms of science is dinosaurs, and so they kind of have to talk about dinosaurs. But sometimes things get in. Sometimes the education curriculum just kind of says, no, you can't teach that, and yeah, it's a bit of a problem. It is definitely a problem. I wish that paleontology could be taught in schools, but if you're in college, you can take a paleontology course. You can definitely do that. All right, on Facebook, Alex, do you think there was a possibility of a theropod dinosaur that was similar to Acrocanthosaurus that would have been in the same formation as the largest dromaeosaur Utahraptor? Good question. I think so, because why would there be sauropods like very similar to Titanosaurs in the rock formations where you find Utahraptor? Why would there be sauropods? Because Utahraptor can't be the only one taking these things down. There has to be competition, and I think that competition is definitely a larger theropod. Now, whether if it's Siach or otherwise maybe Acrocanthosaurus, I think Acrocanthosaurus does fit the bill, and I think there could be a chance. There could be a chance that there is a large theropod that could be discovered in the same rock formation as Utahraptor. I totally agree with you, Alex. There is got to be a large theropod dinosaur in that rock formation, because why was there so many large prey items? If you have large prey items, there's going to be a large predator. And that large predator has to be competing against Utahraptor for the same food sources. And so, yeah, I totally agree with you on that. All right, Benjamin, last questions here. Is Appalachiosaurus the ancestor of the Tyrannosaurids? It's difficult to say. I'd probably go yes and no. I'd probably say yes, is that there is a good chance that it is an ancestor to the Tyrannosaurids, which are the large-bodied Tyrannosaurs. But also no, is because it's probably a little bit more on the basal lineage, so the primitive lineage. So yeah, I probably would have to say it's a yes and no on that one. So it's still be determined. Did all large meat-eating dinosaurs have fused nasal bones? This is a good question. There are some meat-eating dinosaurs that do have fused nasal bones. Tyrannosaurus, for example, did have them. Tyrannosaurus did have them, but Appalachiosaurus did have them as well. The ones that do not have fused nasal bones are more likely, let's say, the Allosaurs and the Carcharodontosaurs. Their nasal bones are very loose compared to, say, the Tyrannosaurs, Appalachiosaurs, and Spinosaurs. But yeah, those ones did not have them. Even like certain types of dinosaurs too, like the large theropod dinosaurs, because if you have fused nasal bones, that means you're biting really hard. And the Belosaurs and Tyrannosaurs were able to bite really hard, except the Belosaurs do not have the same bite force as Tyrannosaurs. But this is a good question. I love that question. Is Microraptor the best known of all feathered dinosaurs? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I'd probably say it's one of them, but not like the most well known. I probably would say is that there's others out there. Microraptor is definitely one of them. Sinosauropteryx is definitely one of them. Archaeopteryx, even some of like the Oviraptors, Therizinosaurs, Dinochirus. We all know those. They did have feathers, and even the raptors, even the other raptors, did have feathers. And so, yeah, I'd probably say it's not the best known, but it's one of them. And then your last one, who would win, Simoscion or Promagontarion? I don't know these that much. I don't know these. If I remember correctly, I think these are mammals. But somebody in the comments let me know because I don't know these prehistoric animals. So somebody in the comments down below. Even send me like a picture, send me like a good artist illustration of these things, because I want to find out what these things look like, and I'll probably answer that question probably in the comments for you, and so I'll probably answer that for you on Facebook. So make sure to look out for that, Benjamin. So please, somebody in the comments, and when you're sending me a picture, please do it through email. Please do it through email because I do not want these like pictures to come out on YouTube, because YouTube doesn't do it very well to send pictures through the comments. But you could do it via email or Facebook. Please do that. But yeah, that's all the questions I got for today. So next week will be a special episode. I'll let you guys know what kind of prehistoric animal I'm going to talk about. So stay tuned for that. And by the way, I want to make a side note here about these questions. So if you're sending me the same question more than once on any of, say, in the comment section on YouTube, Facebook, or even through email, if you're sending it more than once or more than twice, I am not going to answer that question because you're spamming me. You're spamming me that question, so please make sure you only send it once or twice. If I don't answer it, then that's because you either send that question way too many times, or otherwise, either it did not get through, or otherwise it's only going to be answered in a future Q&A episode. So please only send it once, please. And also, for the a video that will be coming out this Saturday. It'll be kind of like a makeup of that extra episode that I could not make, but this one is actually more of a tribute. So stay tuned for that episode, and it's only going to be on YouTube. So just let you guys know this one's only going to be on YouTube. I will not be sharing it on my Facebook page or on my Threads page. So please just keep an eye out for that, and that one will be scheduled for Saturday at noon Central Time. So wherever you are time-wise, it could actually show up a little bit later in the day or even earlier in the day. So please feel free to keep an eye on that. But anyway, that's all I got for today. But like I said, next week will be a special episode. Let you guys know what kind of prehistoric animal I'm going to talk about, so stay tuned for that. And you can still send me questions about dinosaurs and other prehistoric life by emailing me, dinochrist71@gmail.com. Or just go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you actually post your questions in the comment section. Please put them in the comment section. Don't put them on Messenger. Messengers are private conversations, so please put your questions in the comment section. And also for you YouTubers out there, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel according to my analytics, so that if you guys are checking out my channel and not subscribed yet, so please feel free to hit the like button, because that's how the YouTube algorithm works. The more likes the video gets, the more likely it gets spread out to people that are interested in dinosaurs and other prehistoric life, paleontology, geology in general. So please hit the like button. Hit the like button on all my videos, or even share the videos. Share the channel to anybody that's interested in dinosaurs and other prehistoric life. Feel free to do so. And like I said, for you YouTubers out there, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also hit that notification bell, so that way you can get weekly notifications of every video that comes out. So last week I didn't do an episode because of the Thanksgiving holiday here in the United States. So yeah, so just so you know, that holidays I do not post anything. And and also for YouTubers out there, feel free to leave your questions in the comment section, because I'll read them all. Your questions do mean a lot. All of you that are sending me questions via email, Facebook, and YouTube, you guys are awesome. You're giving me some great questions for these Q&A episodes, and it keeps me on my toes in terms of researching. And so yeah, make sure you keep sending me some really, really good questions. And also make sure you keep your questions short to the point. You can also find them on Instagram at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there. You can also find them on Threads. That's the same thing as Instagram at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there as well. Also, take care of the people around you, and also for you younger people out there, and it makes lists, and your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you could have for good education. It's very important to have a good education. So with a good education, you get a good job in the future. All right, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.